Welcome back to the table, everyone. Today I wanted to show you this Kickstarter that I had no idea it was on, and I'm kind of sad I missed it. Luckily, they have a late pledge manager that we'll take a look at. But what I wanted to show you was the Kickstarter page, just in case maybe you missed it yourself. So the game is called Gods of War, Robert E. Lee. It looks like I wouldn't say universal set, but it does cover some other periods as well. But the focus is going to be the American Civil War. And it did fund, so that, it's there. And if you go to the late pledge manager, you can get in on it as well. So I thought what I would do is just share what you have in the Kickstarter in case you missed it. But, please feel free to come check it out yourself. Gods of War, Robert E. Lee. Okay, so as we just kind of come down, there's a little intro video, which, come watch. But we're going to look at some pictures of things that they're sharing. We'll look at some of the stretch goals on the side. But you'll see when you come here, they have a lot to share. So it's a humongous page with lots and lots of figures and different things that you can get. Alright, so when you first pop in, you got your pledge levels that you have. Brigadier General, 95 pounds. Or euros, not pounds, sorry, euros. I think that's euros. So you got a Confederate or Union Corps that you get to pick up. So each corps, it says there, are 294 metal miniatures and 2 resin guns. So that's quite a bit. And I think if you zoom in, it says bases and then full color flag sheets. The fact that it's got bases is important. And then if you get in at like the Brigadier level there's the rule book, you have card decks. You get one card deck, but you can purchase another card deck. It's not a card-driven game, but it does use cards for different actions, and we'll look at that a little bit too. And then if you go Major General, you get both. You get to pick a Confederate and a Union Corps, and then you get card sets for both. So if you're like one half of a group of folks that play and you just want the Confederate, okay, cool, go that route. Me, I have to buy for both sides because my son, he's 18, but he's still in high school, and so he doesn't quite have the money to shell out so he can buy the other half of something, and he plays Union, so someone's got to be the bad guys. But I would have to end up buying both sets. That's cool. You got the book, core for each side, cards. Now, I will tell you why this would be a fantastic opportunity for somebody brand new to, maybe wargaming or American Civil War gaming. If you've always said, I want to get into it. The reason why I think that this is outstanding is the fact that they have a standardized system that supports not only the game rules, but then they include the figures as well and the bases. Now, that might not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but when I started getting into wargaming, it is so diverse because you can buy just rule sets or you can just buy figures, but then sometimes different rule sets have different basings and things like that. So it's sometimes difficult to figure out what you need to do to get playing. So that's why like Flames of War for a lot of folks is super great because they have the rules, they have the figures with the basing. Now, I'm not talking about rules creep and the addition changes, things like that. That's a whole other problem. But the fact that you can get everything from one company is great. When I wanted to start Napoleonics, the wargaming company, they do Sans Resultat, ESR. That was beautiful because, again, they had the rules, the campaign books, the figures with bases, like everything was there for you. So you didn't have to worry about, well, I'm going to buy some figures from here and the figures don't come with bases. So now I got to figure out how to get bases from maybe this company, and sometimes that's difficult. So that's why I really wanted to share this out with folks who might be interested in starting into American Civil War wargaming, and you're like, where do I go? Because again, even for that, there's so many companies that produce figures, and then there's different rule sets, and but now I got figures, but where do I get bases and what size of bases? Boom, done for you. So I was like, that's perfect. Okay, so that aside, then there's a General of the Army, which has a lot of stuff in it. It's got your core each, your cards, rule book. There's also some supplements that come with it. Then you have some, in all of these you unlock some free miniatures as well. So that's also here in General of the Army. And then it also comes with a bunch of booster packs for Confederate and Union. So it says here Confederate and Union blisters 1, but it's actually, you'll look down, there's quite a few different blisters that you can get, and the blister packs are just, you know, like additional, here's another brigade or something like that. And then you get the markers that go with the game. And then here was a Chief of Staff level, which is mostly your books and supplements, cards to get you going, some of the free figures, Colonel, the free miniatures, a rule book, and then, you know, a set of cards, which whichever way you go, they still have the other set of cards if you're like me and I got a purchase for both. See, and I like that they got some options because some people already also have figures. I'm in the process of painting some right now, and of course, due to the lighting, you probably can't see anything, but you know, I've already started, so it's like, do I just need rules? But yeah, if I had the money, I would also love to try their 6mm stuff too. But you know, I might just end up getting the rules because there's some really cool things in the rules that I might share. Yeah, I'll probably share here, but they have a really, really good gameplay video which explains like the initiative and the beginning stages of setting up the your battle that you're doing. And we might look at that in another video. But anyway, here's just getting into some boxes. Then let's see, the game grows with the progress of the campaign, right? Because again, you got the different blister packs and things that you can get, which now gets into the add-ons. And this is the largest part of their Kickstarter page. So you got, you know, blisters for €9. So there's this one here, 3 Union infantry brigades, or Confederate brigades. There's militia brigades, Zouave. Everybody's got to have Zouave. There's some lancers, horse. You know, cavalry, you know, played a part, just not like Napoleonic participation, but still cool to have. Louisiana Tigers, so you can paint them up fancy. 3 brigades of United States colored troops, which I think is an important thing to have, because the only problem I have is I don't know which of my paints I would use for skin tone and skin color. And with the figures that I have now in an incompatible scale with their 6mm, none of them, I think, because they all have like big beards and stuff like that, and it's like, well, I'm not sure how I'd make, I guess, just paint it, and from a distance they'd look like colored troops. I don't know, but it's nice that they have some set aside dedicated for that, so I thought that was cool. Anywho, going down, then, you know, there's different costs for blister packs, but there's some more brigades and the great coats, which I always thought the great coats looked pretty cool, but I don't have any in the scale that I've got here. But let's see, Iron Brigade. Yeah, and it just goes on. I mean, they have so much. Union generals, Confederate generals. I mean, I just love the fact that they have just about everything you could think of here. These patrol markers are awesome. And again, kind of when we look at the game system a little bit, you'll see how cool that is to have those patrol markers, skirmish lines, different terrain pieces you can get, dismounted cavalry, and then wagons. I don't remember seeing specifically artillery limbers. Maybe there are and I just probably forgot, overlooked it, but you know, still gotta have some wagons. How many wagons come in there? I don't know. 3 resin models. Okay, so you're gonna get three wagon sets for €7. I'm not sure how it translates to dollars. That's what I shop in. That's like what, maybe $10, $11 for three wagons. That's actually not bad. I'm surprised that prices on everything are going up, but that still seems like a pretty good value compared to some of the scales and things I'm looking at. Napoleon guns. Got to get your artillery in. I'm not sure how to pronounce some of that, but again, different types of terrain pieces. You get your marker sets. What was that? Operational bases and strategic point tracker. more generals, cavalry brigades, then some howitzers. And then, this is what I was talking about, they have some different, I don't know if it's eras necessary, I think it's in that same time frame, it says mid-19th century, but different areas of the world. So you've got some different figures here. There's British, French, oh, there's French coming up, just not right this second. So we got British infantry brigades, but they do, oh, Highlanders. I don't know how I could paint those and get those kilt patterns in that small. Can't even do it in anything larger. But they do have French. But I don't think it's Napoleonic, because I think it's keeping in that time frame of like the 1860s, 1870s for, you know, around the time frame of the American Civil War. So I don't think they're going as far back as Napoleonics, but doing, because some of the British stuff they showed looked like they were in deserts with, you know, Arabic, or maybe India. I'm not quite sure. It's a era of gaming I don't really familiarize myself with. So it was just interesting to see that they got French and British here as well. I know, not trying, just letting my wargaming and history ignorance show through. I apologize. But then here we go. There's the French. You can get a French corps. So there's a British corps, French corps. So you could do a little bit, I guess, you know, those parts of the world in that time frame for gaming. And then all the blisters for those too. So it is definitely a game system, I should call it, that is set for expansion. So here it looks like you can just get the rule book, 160 pages. Buy your cards, and yeah, you do need cards to play. There's PDF. I don't think. Well, this is Rule Britannia, and I think you will be able to purchase just the rule book in PDF for those who like that. But I did not see anything about like a print and play version for the cards. So cards, I think you'll definitely have to purchase. Here's some sculpts. I will say this about the sculpts. When I saw them, I'm thinking, oh man, like kind of pudgy, deformed. But it's a style that the more I look at them, the more I go, I like it. It just reminds me, and I probably shouldn't say this, but it makes me think of like an alternative, which it's not, but like fantasy dwarfs. Like the dwarfs are going to war. I know it's probably terrible and shouldn't say that, but I really am starting to dig their. It's a very unique style that they have, and I'm really starting to get in on it. But I don't know how hard those would be to paint. They painted them. Painting is not my strong point, so I'm like really nervous about painting things so small, but pretty up to the challenge. Give it a try. But here you go. Here's contents of the box. So lots of infantry, some leaders. It's got the guns and gunners, some cavalry miniatures. Well, I like that. I do like that. The starter box I got for another game system, which I won't mention, included leaders, guns for artillery, infantry, but no cavalry, and just a few would have been great. So that's cool. We've got some cavalry here, so this is everything you need. And the bases, that's HDF. So I know of MDF, HDF, probably just a different quality of wood. I'm not saying worse, but just apparently maybe that stands for high density fiber. I don't know what HDF or MDF really stand for, but anyway, the wood bases are right there. And I'm telling you, that is a big deal. When I was playing ESR, I can't reach it, but the ESR, there's some starter boxes you can get that come with forces for, you know, like two-player box set, and the bases are there. So that's a huge thing sometimes, is trying to find out where to get bases. For some people, that if you're used to that, you know where to go and shop. But for those, again, who are kind of new to the hobby and don't understand that kind of stuff, it's nice that everything is included in the box. The figures, the bases. And the fact that they're resin is kind of cool too, because one problem that I have with the I don't know if these are all resin. I keep seeing resin, metal. Okay, metal miniatures it says. I don't know if they're all metal, but okay, so I'll take back what I was going to say. The only problem I have with metal is just sanding down the bottoms to make them flat so everybody sits perfect. I struggle with that. Okay, had nothing to do with the Kickstarter, but just sharing. Alright, and then here's what's inside the British box. And again, I'm just scrolling through because there's so much, but you know, I encourage you to come here to the Kickstarter page yourself and take a look. And let's see, our miniatures are packed, and the durable blisters. Yeah, I'm very, very impressed with what they got going on, and the way everything looks mounted on the bases looks very cool. Yeah, it's just awesome. Ooh, another free miniature Vivendry. Oh, they had daily unlocks during the campaign. So again, this campaign is over, but the late pledge manager is currently open at the time that I post this. So you can come on there and get in on all this stuff. Let's see here. Again, just some of the unlocks throughout the daily unlocks I did. Florence Nightingale, patrols. Alright. Now, I don't know if the unlocks, I think we're just unlocked it so it can be purchased, I guess. Since I didn't follow the Kickstarter, that's kind of neither here or either near. Boy, I can't even think of that. It's neither here nor there. So it doesn't matter because it's all in the late pledge manager now. So that's why I'm just kind of going through the daily unlocks because we passed that. Alright, now again, here's a video they've got. It's the rules presentation. And it goes through the book. Now the book is in Polish because they're from Poland, and that's, I think this Kickstarter is getting like the funds together so they can get that all published in English, which not on the Kickstarter page I didn't see it, but in the late pledge manager you'll see that they actually have like 3 sample chapters, and we'll take a look at that. Okay, and we're getting there. We're finally near the bottom. There's the About Us. GM board games. Oh, I see. It's like their names. And Gregor's, and it sounds like in the videos it sounds like it's Magic, but so GM is their names, the 2 brothers, GM board games. That all makes sense now. And if you go to GM Games on YouTube, they got a lot, well, I don't know about a lot, but they have some very informative videos about the system and shows off some of the figures. See, their stuff is painted great. I don't think I'll ever hit that level. No, not at this rate. But anyway, bottom of the Kickstarter. So, before we go look at the late pledge, in fact, we'll just go straight to the late pledge because since the campaign's over, it doesn't do any good really to look at the pledge levels here. So we'll go look right here, late pledge now. Okay, and you'll see that as far as I could tell, everything on the Kickstarter is here. So we just come down, picture, there's the rules presentation video. Now right here from the late pledge manager there's a link to a demo game and another link to the rulebook preview. I don't know, the last time I looked at the book preview it was going over the Polish rulebook. I don't think I've seen anything yet for the English rulebook. So I could be wrong. I haven't clicked on that link in a while. Let's see. Then they got some, testimonials, more pictures of their figures painted up, all nice. And then here's the featured products. But you're going to see that pretty much everything you could have got through the Kickstarter is here. So this is like an online store as of this moment. So here's the featured. The Major General Pledge is small. So this one has, I guess this is probably one of their more popular ones because it includes a box, a core for each Union and Confederate, and the cards and rules. And then the Chief of Staff, I think that was, well, I had to zoom. So that's got the Rule Book, Bull Run to Fredericksburg, Scenarios PDF, Rule Britannia expansion, Vive la France expansion. If you want to get a sampling of all the areas that the game system can cover. Let's see what this one. The Major General is also popular, but that's the British and Continental Core side of things, not the American Civil War side. Oh, British Major General. Okay, so that's got looks like 2. Oh, okay. So it's not French at all. So it's the a British Colonial and British Continental. So if you want to go all British, 621 British figures for you to paint up in 6mm. Sounds like a lot. Alright, then if you get past the popular, then we just get down into everything all here again. So those are the big group type things, and then there's, you can buy just the books. Now, I don't think any of this is ready to ship out yet. Since it's the late pledge manager, that means the the Kickstarter ended, but they're not sending stuff out yet. But, you know, get in, because they're on discounted prices. It's only maybe a euro, a dollar here or there, but you're getting a slightly cheaper price than the full manufacturer suggested retail. This is why Kickstarter is sometimes great to get in on. But anyway, rules, the card sets, Fredericksburg, Rule Britannia, so you get the PDFs. Add-ons, let's see, that just said Confederate add-ons, so there's a Confederate core to start you out. That doesn't seem like a bad price at all. 44 pounds, again, maybe $50 American somewhere, or a little bit more. I'm not good with the conversion rate, so I know I'm off. Could be closer to 60, but that's your, for let's say 60 bucks. That's your 294 metal miniatures, guns, the bases, full color flag sheet. That's great. So that's going to give you quite a few bases to play with. And you want the patrol markers. Trust me, you want those. They just look great. You'll see why when we watch the gameplay video. And then again, we'll just kind of flip through, but you're going to see that everything here is what you saw on the Kickstarter. And then this is where you're going to purchase it from. Just goes on and on. Flag sheets are great. The marker sets. And then you get to the Union. So, scroll, scroll, scroll. You can buy different base sizes. And this is good. I'm glad they did this. I'll tell you why. So, I have a friend, and he'll base things in like half. So for example, here I'm looking at this stand, and let's say it's got like 8 cavalry on it. What he'll do is he'll buy extra bases and then put 4 cavalry, and then kind of doubles the amount of units that he has. I don't mind squishing them all together because I like that sense of scale where you have lines and lines and rows of troops. You know, I expect to see that tightly packed, you know, but he's like, I don't care, it's just there to represent a unit. And so he'll buy extra bases, and then just, you know, half the figures here, half the figures here. Nothing wrong with that. And so that's why I'm glad that they've got the bases that you can purchase. So if you want to do the same thing, let's see. And again, there's British. There should be some French down here near the bottom. There's the French. All right, so no need to re-show you all of that again, because that's, come here and check it out, and it's what's on the Kickstarter page. But here's where you can purchase it. I will just take a look at the rule book. Let's see, here it is. Oh, this particular link to the rule book, this might be the one I'm thinking of. They have not only, okay, so there's a YouTube video where they go over the book, and it's the Polish rule set. And then I think this link I just clicked, this pulls up the 3, yeah, it's the 3 sample chapters from the English book. Okay, I remember now. So we just pop in, got your reenactors. I think those are in great coats. So pretty bright blue pants and some nice grayish, bluish. Yeah, I guess it's on the Union side in their, I don't know, I can't tell. Well, those look like, okay. I'm not a Civil War expert, so let me know. Is that Union or Confederate troops? I don't see it labeled. Be nice to know what reenactment that is. Alright, well anyway, I know, just because I like to play in the Civil War era right now, doesn't mean I know everything about the Civil War era right now. It's all a learning process. Alright, so here we go. What I like about this, the demo here, or the sample chapters, you do get to see everything that will be in the books, from movement to where artillery is, firefight, close combat, part 2, preparing the game, so on and so forth. So at least you can see everything that you're going to get in the book. a note from the authors, and then, you know, right into the first stuff. What do you need to play? And I'm not going to read this to you because come check it out for yourself. But I do like, again, when I think about the all enclosed gaming system, not saying you can't use other miniatures or anything like that, but again, for someone who wants to get into this and has no idea what to do, and maybe it's your first time, I just think it's so great that they got some sample pictures that say, hey, based on the boxes you bought from us and the figures and bases we gave you, here you go. Here's how you can set that up. Perfect. And even then, that's just a suggestion, because I've seen, because like I'm looking here, it's got like the drummers in the back. Well, some of the bases they've shown, they've got like the infantry in the back, and then they have like just a few people put forward a little bit to represent skirmishers. So again, suggestions, but this is nice to see if you're not really sure what you should do. So that's cool. I really like that. And dice rolls, measuring distance, talking about some different markers for orders, patrol markers. Again, when you watch the video, you'll see why the patrol markers will be great to have. Sure beats little pieces of paper that you're going to put on the table. Union troops painted up, ready to go against their Confederate counterparts. Talk about units, line of sight rules, examples. Great. Unit statistics. I've seen these cards here in their video. I'm not sure we're going to get the unit cards yet. I don't know if that's... I'm not sure where you get those particular unit cards, but it explains the breakdown of the unit cards. I don't know if that comes in, like, it might come in those Union and Confederate packs of cards. I haven't seen the entire contents of those packs of cards. I thought those packs of cards just had like the leaders and some of the event cards, but they might also include the stat cards for, we'll find out. Hopefully if GM Games can leave a comment, they can maybe just kind of clarify that, like where would those statistic cards be, if those are in the card packs or where they are, for those who are curious and want to know. But again, just kind of going through line stats, and then just gets into more rules here. How are you supported? Right into the turn sequence, and I think this would be another good chapter though for those curious about the game. Breaks down the turn. How is this thing played? Of course, the rest of the book is explaining those specific details of rules, but here you go. Here's the breakdown. And then the back. So yeah, it's a short preview. They hopefully you buy the book, but at least this gives you, I think, a pretty good understanding of what you're going to get in the rule book, what kind of rules it covers, and just to get you kind of excited for it. If you also go back to the Pledge Manager, again, make sure you click that demo game link. I think they do a great job showing off some of the mechanics. I think they said they play like maybe 2 turns to show things off, but they show the patrol phase, they show the initiative phase, and I think that video, that got me excited. I said, yeah, I want to help share this out a little bit because it looks very interesting to me. So if you check this out, let me know what you think. Are you going to pledge in and get things from the Pledge Manager? I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and hopefully as time goes by, I'll get more things that I can share with you, and see if we can get some more folks out there to support Gods of War Robert E. Lee. Alright, anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later.